Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about the Houston Texans finalizing a trade for Bills star Stephon Diggs, and now we're going to be talking about the Chiefs and the Royals to explore options after blowout loss on sales tax vote in Kansas City. But before we do that, I just want to remind you guys to like and follow the show. We get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is GSMCPodcast.net. This just puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also really helps the show. So,
Right.
Tate says I look mean today. Do I look mean?
You had this serious look on your face during break. You were like you had your game face
My
on.
game face on? That's
maybe
just I got
maybe
RBF.
not
That's what it
mean.
is.
No, never, never. No. You
I
got
got
that.
RBF.
You're just like I'm focused.
I'm focused. Yes.
Yeah, I can definitely see you got things on your mind today.
Well, I mean, with the whole thing that happened this morning, I was stressed out with that, and then I got some school stuff that I got to do after this. So.
Yeah, so leading more on this whole thing was so she decided that she'd take care of some of the Thursday stuff this morning. So working on a deadline and she can't find anything that is not under NC-17, let's just say, right?
Anything that's appropriate for the show. Yeah.
Right. So I can totally tell like
hmm
her blood pressure went up a couple of ticks.
Yeah. A little bit.
You could,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's so obvious to me.
Oh,
It's a
the
stressful job around here.
Yep. The pleasures of working with Faith. You could see all the highs and the lows of her.
No, you are awesome. It's just I would not recommend that you take on becoming a professional poker player because
Oh no.
you see a lot of your emotions. You see that.
I don't even know really how to play poker anyway, so
I'm pretty good at poker.
I'm
I've
not.
been Poker's been good to me over the years. So, all right.
Alrighty. So, the Chiefs and the Royals are going to explore options after the blowout loss on the sales tax vote in Kansas City. The Chiefs have been playing in Kansas City since 1963, but there's now a chance that the team could be on the move at some point in the future after a sales tax in Jackson County, Missouri was shot down by voters on Tuesday. If the sales tax had passed, the money would have been used to help pay for some major renovations at Arrowhead Stadium, along with a new downtown stadium for the Kansas City Royals. But instead, the two teams will have to look elsewhere for financial help after the ballot measure was resoundingly shot down by a margin of 58.1% to 41.9%. 78,352 people voted against the tax, while only 56,606 voted for it. The sales tax is currently in place through 2031. In Tuesday's vote, we're asking the people of Jackson County to extend the tax through 2064. Good Lord. With the ballot measure failing, the future of the Chiefs is now up in the air. Team president Mark Donovan had said in mid-March that relocation would be on the table if the sales tax got voted
I
down.
mean relocation, right?
Relocation, yeah.
Okay. I was like, what?
Relocation. My apologies. He said, I think they would have to include leaving Kansas City. Donovan said of the team's options if the vote fails. Donovan didn't have much to add after the vote on Tuesday, except to say that the Chiefs were disappointed with the outcome. We respect the process. The process. We respect the decision of the Jackson County voters. We're disappointed. We feel we put forth the best offer for Jackson County. We are ready to extend the long-standing partnership that the teams have enjoyed with this county. This is important. We will do and look to do what is best in the best interest of our fans and our organization as we move forward. The Chiefs recently unveiled plans for an $800 million renovation at Arrowhead Stadium that would upgrade almost everything. Not only would parking and tailgating improve, but the team would also planning to add in new video boards and better luxury amenities, including new club areas in the end zone. The Chiefs were also looking to construct a 360-degree concourse that would allow fans to finally navigate the entire stadium while sitting in the upper deck. And the Chiefs were planning to foot $300 million of the renovated bill, but the rest of the money was expected to come from the extension of the 3/8 of a cent sales tax that got voted down. So,
Okay. These are always very touchy conversations because first you have the whole feeling of owners of teams expect the cities to pay for their stadium
right.
and have it as luxurious as they can possibly be so that the owners can make more money. And that is always a tough thing to come out on, on the side of the owners. But then I look at this whole thing and I look at the city of Kansas City and I'm like, I could not imagine Kansas City Chiefs playing somewhere else. I'm surprised that it got shut down and it lost because of the fact that you can't do better than what Kansas City has done. The Chiefs, Super Bowl after Super Bowl, megastar quarterback, celebrity tied in with a celebrity girlfriend. You have it all, and the fans absolutely love the Chiefs. And the fact that the city voted it down is surprising. I thought this would be an easy win. And when I start thinking about these same conversations that come up going back a ways, I remember when Cleveland didn't approve their stadium thing didn't pass. And eventually the Browns moved to Baltimore. I remember the Raiders, same thing, just recently moving to Las Vegas. The St. Louis Rams, their neighboring city, moving to Los Angeles. You see this happen quite often. When these measures do not pass, teams get very serious about moving. And I just cannot see Kansas City moving. But then again, I couldn't see the Rams moving back to Los Angeles, but it happened. And when you look at teams like the Chargers moving because their measure didn't pass, and them moving, and these teams ended up in better situations. The Raiders leaving Oakland is a financial windfall. The Raiders are one of the most wealthiest teams in football now. The Rams are one of the most wealthiest teams in football. And you look at the Chiefs, and they could be looking at these other teams and saying, you know what, if we can't get our stadium the way we want, we're going to pack up and go. It's a little scary when you think about the city of Kansas City. You think of the Kings. I mean, not the Kings, but the Chiefs. And I couldn't imagine it being any other way. What do you think about that as someone, and looking at the fact that stadium people are asking the people of the city to pay for their stadiums and to make it, upgrades and everything else. And then also take into account that when the NFL report cards came out, the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs was rated one of the lowest rating owners in football. And, is it the owner? Is it, it's such a touchy thing because if they don't do the upgrades, could they leave? I think it's possible. Teams are looking for greener pastures because they want more money. What do
Mm-hmm.
you think of that?
I think probably a big reason why the vote was no is because of the fact that the Chiefs were planning to foot 300 million, and
Hmm.
then these taxpayers were expected to pay the rest, which would be about 500 million. So me looking at this, I would be pretty upset if the Chiefs, who want to renovate their stadium, are expecting taxpayers to pay more than half of the cost for the renovation, and they're only going to be footing 300 million. I think that was I feel like that's part of the reason why the answer was no. Can I see
But
Kansas City moving somewhere else? I don't know. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, you think about
they
I don't I
belong in
can't
Kansas City.
I can't
But
hear that like the St. Louis Chiefs. That just doesn't sound good.
and that's because yeah, it takes you time to get used to. It's like the Las Vegas Raiders. It
Mhm.
just feels wrong.
Yeah.
And but what you're talking about, every major city has this issue going on. And some owners don't want to pay anything. It should be up to the city to upgrade their stadium. And they don't want to put in so much. The alternative is this though. You could be sitting there like San Diego, or Oakland, or the Seattle Supersonics, without a basketball team, without an NFL team, which means so much to the city. And you're watching your team pack up and leave because you won't fix up their stadium. But that's kind of like someone coming and saying, listen, I want my house fixed up. I want new windows. I want a new kitchen. I want new lighting. I want everything new. And if the city doesn't pay for it, I'm moving. It
Yeah.
would never you know what I mean? That would
Mhm.
never fly. But for a sports franchise, that's what happens. It's
Mhm.
not right. I don't think it's right at all. But right and reality sometimes are two different things.
Yeah.
And the reality is, if the city of Kansas City doesn't do it, there's a city out there that will. Look at Las Vegas. Vegas was like, Oakland, you don't want to build them a stadium? No problem. We'll build them the most luxurious stadium we can find.
Mhm.
Uh, you understand? St. Louis, Missouri, you don't want to build the Rams a stadium? We'll build the most expensive stadium ever known in American sports. We'll do it. We'll build the stadium. And what happened? Vegas got the Raiders, and
Mhm.
St. Louis packed up and went back to Los Angeles. San Diego's like, hey, there's this great stadium already in Los Angeles. The people of San Diego don't want to pay to fix up our stadium. We'll rent space in Los Angeles and we'll move to Los Angeles. It's happening. That's reality. Is it right? It is not right.
Mhm.
And it's tough. The only place that don't have to deal with this is the Green Bay Packers because the city owns the team. That's
Mhm.
the only one that doesn't have this. Um, and I feel like I wish there was something that could be done where there was some type of rule that standard, let's say it's a 50-50 partnership where all stadiums, all upgrades need to be half owner, half uh city,
Mhm.
something like that. But it's not that way. And owners know this, that if you don't, there's someone that will. Think about that. Imagine it doesn't apply for college sports, but imagine if Georgia Bulldogs threaten, if Athens, Georgia don't build us a new stadium, we're moving to Mobile, Alabama. It just doesn't even sound right.
Yeah.
But that's what happens in professional sports, and it does happen. Teams will pack up and go. So these cities that may not have the money, or they're already feel like they've been taxed for years on this already. They want to extend it to when? 2067 or something like that, you say?
2064.
20. Okay, so I'm 3 years off. 2064.
Yeah.
People are like, you know what? These rich owners, these rich players are getting hundreds of millions of dollars. These owners are getting billions of dollars. Why can't they build
Exactly. Yeah.
their own stadium?
Mm-hmm.
But these owners know, if you don't, someone else will. So these cities are held up and they have no say.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to happen. Or the Royals and the Chiefs will leave.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a compromise. There will be another ballot for the next election, and it better pass, or you're gonna start hearing real talk about teams packing up and leaving, because it happens every single time. Every city that has stood their ground and said, no more, we're not building you a stadium, every one of them, those teams ended up packing up. So that's a tough thing. What do I mean, I know I use the Georgia Bulldogs because you go to Georgia and you're a big Georgia fan, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You love the Bulldogs. It seems impossible that they could pack up and just leave.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, or you're a St. Louis Rams fan, or God forbid, it was the St. Louis Cardinals. They moved to Arizona. They got the Rams. The city's like, nope, we're not doing it for you. See you later, St. Louis. We're moving on. We're gonna move to Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
These teams pack up and they will leave.
Yeah.
And people can't even picture the city without the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
But it can happen.
Yeah.
And if they don't fix that stadium up, it will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just seems wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
But they got the Kelseys.
Speaking of the Kansas City Chiefs, when we come back, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Kelce brothers. And Travis Kelce is on the Kansas City Chiefs still right now. Yes. So, guys, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in a minute.